Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. So this is going to be a video where we bounce around a bit. The first part I am doing the 2024 coloring plans hashtag and answering the questions to that. The second half will be showing you guys my planners for the year, not only like my hobby planner, my coloring planner, but like my overall planner as well, talking about what has worked, what hasn't. I figured this would be a good way to combine things. I'm going to try to run through this pretty quickly so that this isn't, an hour and a half long video. But I will have chapter links in the description, so if you want to watch some of it, you want to watch all of it, you want to watch none of it, you have choices. So we're going to color out of Color by Number Animals by Jade Summers. This is my first page out of here, and in honor of my tag this month, Foxy February 2024, we're going to color this handsome fellow. Normally I do voiceovers, however I'm trying to do some recording on the weekends because I don't find I'm not having a lot of time during the week, so it's kind of quicker if I do it this way. I will figure out some way to show you the finished picture, whether it's on social media or in the thumbnail of this picture, somewhere like that. I will show you the finished version of this picture. Yeah, you'll see it on social media if nowhere else. So this is a tag that was created by Jazzy Doodle Designs. And there are 10 questions that basically cover like what your coloring plans are for the year. You can get as general as specific as you like. I was tagged by Tammy Colors 2. I'm not going to tag anybody just because I feel weird about tags. I'm kind of like, Tammy asked me if I was up to doing this tag before she tagged me. And I appreciated that, because not that I would feel pressure about it, but yeah, like life's been pretty busy lately, so I don't want to put any pressure on anybody. I thought of a couple people, but the thing is that's cool about tags though, if you want to do this tag, go for it. You can say I tagged you, or you can say I'm going to do the tag anyway. I've done that a lot of times myself, so I'm not tagging anybody in particular, but anybody who wants to do it, I am always interested in these types of videos. So, alright. Just making sure I am cognizant of time in this video. So, hashtag coloring goals 2024. The first question is, do you have strict coloring goals for 2024 or more loosey-goosey? I really thought about it because I didn't come up with my goals at the end of 2023. I felt so overwhelmed. And when I get overwhelmed, I just can't think long term. Like, I can't come up with things like goals and broad things like that. I just don't do well. I put more pressure on myself with like goal setting and stuff like that. So a lot of times when I'm thinking about goals, they kind of come to me here and there over the first few months of the year, or even halfway through the year, like what happened last year. And so I didn't really come up with any coloring goals until like just a few weeks ago, and y'all can't see the bottom part of this picture. I came up with some. It is a very high level, so I used the 2024 to make things a little easier for me. I decided to use the 24 for setting up some goals for the year. And so I have, let's see, and I will show you guys this in my planner later, but I have a 24 non-colored in books. So 24 books I haven't colored in before. And then I've got a place where I can write all those down for the year. And this will be my second book of the year. So I feel like it's doable. Wish I had had a little more coloring in January, but it is what it is. And so that's a pretty straightforward one. I also have 24 artists to color in 2024. I was like, do I have 24 artists worth of books? And I do. 24 plus. I was counting the artists on my bookshelves and I was like, oh yeah, this is doable. This also helps me get into maybe some of these books that I'm a little more scared to color in. Like, I don't do as much in Kirby Rosanna's or Hannah Carlzon. I don't think I've done a page in Clara Markova's books yet, so this will give me a chance to kind of spread out from my typical artists that I color in. And so I've got a list for those. And I think, is the other stuff channel related? I can't remember, but we'll cover it if I don't remember to talk about it before we get there. So I would say kind of middle of the ground. I have a couple big goals for the year. I try to make them broad, because, and over the year rather than month by month, because the way my life goes, I don't do well with trying to keep up with monthly goals when it comes to hobbies as much. Unless I'm just feeling particularly frisky and I want to set some goals for the month. For the most part, I do a lot better when I do like a broad year or quarterly type goal situation. So my life is not stable enough yet for me to feel confident in being able to set monthly goals, because then they go awry and I just get discouraged and then I don't want to do anything. 2, how many pages do you want to color this year? So I calculated the number of finished pages I had last year and it was 224. And I really should look at previous years too. I should start keeping a running total of that because I'm kind of curious how that compares to recent years as well. Because I've been coloring now, it will be 6 years in like April or May. And so I set a goal of 250 this year. And that is ambitious. I really don't think my life is going to ease up enough this year that I could get like roughly 30 more pictures in, but I'm going to try. And I'm going to try to not get into those slumps so much that I've been doing. But we'll just have to see how that goes. But yeah, 250 is kind of my plan. It's a increase from last year, and definitely always want to be coloring more, though there were a few months there, like Halloween, like October and December, where I really like colored the coloring bug out of me for the month. Like I don't usually have the opportunity to do that. So the fact that I had 2 months like that last year was kind of nice. And I would like to be able to do more of that in this year. 3, what coloring medium would you like to learn or improve this year? This is, I don't have anything in particular. I'm pretty happy with how I use pencils, though I feel like I do have some Kit and Clowder coloring classes with markers and pencils that I could use to like improve my technique a little, I guess. So in terms of like, overall improvement, I would kind of like to improve my colored pencil and marker coloring, but I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing too. So it's like, that's a nice to have, but it's one of those, if I can't do it, it's not a huge deal. Hopefully, as we're doing the pencil collection review this year, I will be using those more and more. So I don't know if I'm necessarily improving in that area, but I will be using those more. What I would like to get better at is I have distress inks, and I know you're like, really? I've never seen you use those before. And so what I would like to use is the stuff I don't use as much. The distress inks, I would like to improve on those this year and actually be able to use those on backgrounds And I guess that goes hand in hand with 4, what technique would you most like to improve? I'd like to be able to use, which one's 13? Sorry. 13 is the darkest brown. I would like to use, let's look at time here. I would like to use distress inks more. I would like to use my paints more, my acrylic paints. And, because those that's really the big thing. I just want to use a lot of the things I don't use very much. So the acrylic paints, distress inks, I would like to use like my and then always want to improve in terms of technique, marker, pencil, using watercolors and watercolor type mediums. I don't use my neo colors very often. I tend to grab just a watercolor palette if I'm using a watercolor base. And I'm not using like my King Art gel sticks that much. I'm not using the Neo Color 2s. A lot of the things that I have in my room that I'm not using a lot of, I would like to use more of this year. My Arteza Real Brush pens, they're like watercolor pens. I would like to use more of those as well. So I don't really have any specific goals in terms of I definitely want to improve in this one area. But with the exception of distress inks, I really want to start using those and seeing if I can make those work in coloring books and get some of the really vibrant backgrounds that I see other people get. But really overall, like, what's always my goal is using more than just my markers and my pencils, or even just using more than my markers. If I'm using my pencils, then I'm doing more than I usually do. So just always looking for the extra time. And the problem with that is using stuff like that requires me to be in here, with the exception of like some watercolor pencils. I do mostly marker coloring, a little bit of pencil coloring in the living room. It's just not as, it's less messy to keep it in here. I don't have to, my setup in there isn't a huge desk like this. It's my couch, so I'm kind of limited in the space I have to work. And so to use a lot of my non-typical mediums, I have to be in here. And one of the downsides of making this my office and my studio is that I get so tired of being in here during the week working that I don't really have the desire to come in here and do fun things like watercolor paintings. I have a watercolor class from Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, that I need to do and work on more. And I just, when it comes to the free time, I don't want to be back in here anymore because I'm already in here all day. So I think eventually, if we can get rid of the guest bed in here, I would really like to set up kind of a separate workspace where, you know, one side of the room I just have my work stuff, like maybe my stand-up desk, and then the other side's, I would eventually like to have them in separate rooms, but that's just not an option right now. But when we get to the point where, you know, if my husband can find another job and we get to where we can do some renovations on the house, I should be able to have that set up. I just can't do it right now. So that's one of my biggest problems, is just having the energy and the desire to be in here to do fun things instead of just working all the time. So that was 13, so this is 12. So that's one of the reasons it's always a struggle for me, and that's why you get mostly watercolor pencils, markers, gel pens, colored pencils, because those are easy things that I can use in the living room as well. So would like to do, I guess that's kind of my answer to that question, is I really would like to use the stuff I don't use very much of and improve as I go. I'm not looking to, I would love to color like Chris Chang, and I'm not saying I would never follow one of her tutorials if I ever get the mood to do it or anything like that, or that I would never get in the mood to improve how I use colored pencils, but I feel like I'm in a really good place with how I use them when it comes to like marker or watercolor base, and I don't, I'm enjoying that a lot right now, so I'm not really in that season of wanting to improve techniques. Also because I just don't feel like I have the energy or the time to really devote to that, when I'm lucky if I have the time and desire to just color, right? Like, so that's kind of where I'm at on that. No specific goals on improvement this year. So that was 3 and 4. 5, what spending collecting goals do you have? I've talked about this. Y'all are probably tired of hearing it. But the biggest thing is my low buy, no buy kind of for the year. And it's all hobbies. It's not just coloring that's the problem. I definitely love collecting woobles, and I have a bunch of those to put together. I have a bunch of video games I need. I'm very good at collecting hobby stuff and having, plans, and then those plans not happening. So I just wind up with a bunch of stuff that I need to use. And same with journal stuff and planner stuff. So I, for a couple reasons, decided to do a low buy, no buy this year, where I'm only going to use the money that I earn from the channel, which is not very much, and I only get it every couple months. So I gotta really be able to budget it out. Because I didn't post much in December or January, the payout I got in January is probably going to be the last one till, I would guess, April or May. So I'm really going to have to, and that's for all my hobbies. So that one, I have no problem sharing what I made, was for a couple months. I make roughly $100 every couple months. It's not that much, y'all. And I got that actually got about 140, and they only send it to you minimum when it's minimum 100. And so I got about 140 mid-January. And basically that goes for all hobbies. So if I want a wooble, if I want a video game, if I want a coloring book, coloring medium, a reading book, anything like that, I got to be able to cover it on that. And so that's pretty big for me. I definitely have, some would say, a problem with collecting new coloring books in particular. Some would say a problem. I call it a hobby. Anyway, it was fine. I have plenty of money and I work hard, and a lot of times I would have no energy to color, but I get stressed and I'd stress buy. And that's something I've struggled with for a really long time, is I won't have the energy to do anything but just buy the stuff for what plan, and have plans that never come to fruition because I'm always stressed and always tired. So we're going to switch to a more mindful buying, use what I have mindset. So that's one of the reasons. We also, I just want to shore up our savings, and we've got some big purchases that are probably coming up and big renovations we need to do in the next 3 to 5 years. My husband was also laid off from his position at a company he's worked at for 13 years. That happened in January. And so just all that came together kind of as a sign for me, thankfully with my job, financially we are able to weather this okay for a while. And but I want to make sure that because we're both in kind of techie jobs, and because tech's so unstable right now, I just want to make sure we're as financially shored up as we can be for any kind of issues or emergencies that might come up, and making sure that we, that we're not going to have a problem down the road. So this is, I was going to do it anyway, but this was just an extra kick in the pants to actually get it going. So the biggest problem is going to be Japanese and Korean coloring books. I already saw one that the Coloring Queen posted for what's coming in February. I saw at least one that I kind of want, and those are big ticket items because of the shipping. So I don't know, I'm going to have to think on that one. But that's the biggest thing this year. That'll definitely be the biggest change y'all will see, in that January was so busy and I was so sick, like from rationing my medicine out and stuff like that, that thankfully I wasn't in a position where I even felt like buying. So January wasn't that hard. What worries me is when all my favorite artists come out with like their new books and this and that, and then you run into, you want to support, and that's my biggest thing, is I want to support artists. I want to support the artists that I love. And a lot of them, I just, anything they put out, I want. There's about 6 of them that I'm like, that's an auto buy almost. And so I want to try to find a happy medium between supporting them and supporting their art, but also trying to be more mindful of what I have, what space I have too, and what I'm going to actually color in. So let's see here. 47 is dark gray. Okay, we need to get moving here. 6, what book do you most look forward to working in this year? That would be Deborah Muller's Halloween All Year Long. Y'all know how much I love Halloween coloring. I want to do more of it throughout the year. Did I grab that book, or have I just put it up somewhere? It's right here, I think. She came out with this late last year, and not that I'm going to be able to finish it, I don't think, especially if I want to do marker and pencil. But I just love it. I love the feel of it. So I'm really looking forward to getting started in this book. Hopefully, didn't get to it in January, so hopefully I can get there in February and get going with it. 7, what creator goals do you have? Like live streams, number of videos, buddy colors. I was gonna, hang on, while we're yapping, let me have a quick looky. No huge creator goals. I don't typically keep up with these month to month. I'm kind of casual about it. So I'm at almost 3.4, 3,400 subscribers. So I would say I'd like to see, maybe 3,500. I mean, it'd be really cool if I hit 4,000 this year. But it's a casual goal. Usually I would expect usually I hit those big numbers around the middle of the year. So kind of given my historical add-ons, like unless I just suddenly become really viral or popular for some reason, and in this universe I kind of hope not, because that would probably be for some bad reason. I don't anticipate changing how I do my videos and my channel, so I don't anticipate a huge influx of subscribers. So if I go by my history, my guess is that, I'll hit 3,500 maybe the middle of the year, and then I'll hit 4 next year. So if I hit 3,500 subscribers, let me tell you right now, it's all gravy, because what is 15? 15's a really light color. It is all gravy right now, because when I started this channel, I tell y'all, I was like, I might have a couple dozen people, like family, that subscribes but doesn't actually watch it. Like, if somebody had told me you would have 1,000 to 3,000 plus subscribers over 5 years, I would have laughed. So, like, any increase is, it's surreal to me anyway. So, live streams, I do want to do more this year. I'm trying really, I set a number of 10, and I don't know how I feel about that because I don't like setting the numbers because, again, I feel like I'm going to have trouble meeting that. 45 is this one. But that gets me, of course, January. I don't have one, and that gives me another month to skip. Usually, I do coloring book giveaways and live streams, which the next one will be, hopefully this month. But they're not going to all be giveaways, because obviously while I'm trying to pare down, I'm also not financially, I can't do a lot of giveaways because I can't do all the shipping this year. I got to be cognizant of that. I'm not going to put that towards my goal. Otherwise, I wouldn't do any of them, because even medium mail, if you're sending out like 20 of them, it gets pretty costly. But I would like to do just some more casual live streams where we're just coloring and chatting about the world and stuff. And I would like to do one monthly. I say that like every year. I feel like at this point it's an attempt. We're just going to keep trying. Maybe I'll get there. Buddy colors, right now I don't like to ask for buddy colors because I just don't feel like I'm doing a good job of meeting those. Even Tammy and I have buddy colors that I just never get to. And so those are just going to be on a come as they are basis. I don't want to set any goals for that kind of stuff. So I think, yeah, really nothing major's changing other than that. Thank you guys for your feedback, by the way, last weekend when I was asking questions about that. About, some of the things I might do differently and what your thoughts were on that. And really and truly, other than obviously the number of coloring book flips and hauls going down because my purchasing's going down less, I don't anticipate really any major changes to my channel this year. So it is still a hobby channel, not a revenue channel. And I don't want to do that unless I have no choice, just because this is a hobby, and the moment I start making it work is the moment it's going to stop becoming as fun to me. So, so just keep in mind that I'm not an Amazon affiliate, so I don't make any income off the links I provide either. And there's job reasons why I can't do that. So keep that in mind too if you ever click a link here. I used to be an affiliate, but I'm not right now. And I can't be while I have this job. So 8, what new to you artists will you be adding this year? I feel like this is like me trying to determine the future. I don't know. Because I don't know. Wait, I was 45. I'm getting confused now. 46. 47. Okay, we're good. I don't know yet, because I don't know if any new to me artists will come across this year. Usually they do. I will say there's one in particular, Sugar, Sweet, Sugah, and then Sweet, is not really new to me, but I hadn't really gotten into his art specifically until like mid to late last year. I had his Cat 22 books, but I hadn't really like looked into his Etsy shop. It become like, really into his art, wanting to do more of it on the channel, things like that. Wait. So this was 28, 29, this is 30. And so he's somebody I want to do more of his art on the channel and coloring. I really enjoy his art. He is on like Facebook and Instagram. He has a YouTube channel now too where he's loading videos. He's actually really involved in like his community, and I really dig that when artists do that. So I do recommend checking him out and checking out his channel and his art. He does a lot of cat stuff, but I really love just his art style. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the cats. It can be a lot of different things. So there's him, but past that point, I don't know yet. Obviously, I feel like that's looking into the future a bit, and I don't know what to tell you there. So 9, do you have a book you would like to complete this year? And we might be stopping this. I have like 4. So Wildcats Circulism art books, I have just a few left in this one. I'd like to finish that one. Stained Glass Halloween, I'm usually always working in a Halloween book. This one, I still have quite a few pictures to finish, but I'm working my way through it. Baby Dragons, Tammy and I said let's just finish it in January, and that didn't happen, so I'm hoping we can finish it in February. I have it's 2 sets of 25 images. I've done them all but 2. And so we might just be saying we're going to get it done this month. I've got, I think it's the last 2. I have this sleepy dragon, and then I have like a robot dragon. And I don't mind the sleepy dragon. I don't know what our problem there is, but the robot dragon's the one I'm kind of like, meh, on. So I don't know where he went. There he is. So definitely going to finish that one. And I'm always plugging away at Hannah Lynn's Whimsy Girls Celebrate the Holidays. Usually getting a couple a year done in here. So who knows? Might finish it up this year. So actually took this one apart. So I've got about 4 I've got my eye on. I can't remember how many I did last year, but you know, usually if I hit about 4 or 5 books for the year, I'm happy with that. The first year I did that 10 books to finish challenge, it just felt like I got about halfway there, but I felt so bad because I didn't get closer to the 10, and it just, so I don't set a number this year, but like books I'm close to finishing, you know, I'm guessing I'm going to add a couple more to those, probably color by numbers. So my guess is probably about 5 or 6. 10, what is the best benefit of coloring to you? For me, right now, it is an anxiety stress reliever that I really need to be taking more advantage of. When I get really locked in, like I am right now, and just kind of burn out, it's very hard for me to want to do anything, much less, you know, color or do a hobby or anything like that. And I need to do a better job of taking some time and just coloring on a picture, not getting overwhelmed by it. I'm going back over these just to make them a little darker, a little different from the numbers. The colors were too close together. A better job of using it for anxiety and stress and relaxation, and doing better at coloring small bits and pieces and not letting myself get way overwhelmed by my choices and trying to tackle a big project at once when I could just simply do like I'm doing here, just simply stop and color. And yeah, let's do this too. So that's the biggest benefit of coloring. I also like to use it as a creative outlet. Again, that really, it's hard to tap into that creativity when I am so tired all the time due to chronic illness, due to a very challenging work environment. But it is still a creative outlet even when I'm coloring something like this, just because I can use some color either on a color by number, or if I use, you know, Sometimes it's not, when I got started trying to be more creative, I thought I needed to make my own art. And I hate drawing, and I hate, right now it's hard to tap into that creative side of me. And so I struggled a lot with being able to start like pieces of art, but then I found coloring, and like here I can still get the color I want. Maybe somebody already did the drawing for me, which I don't like to draw, so I can just do the coloring part. I can do the fun part and use color. That's the fun part to me. And I use different mediums and stuff. So it is creativity for me too, but that has to take a back seat with just how my life is right now. So right now the best benefit is anxiety and stress relief, but like I said, it kind of works across the board. So all right, so we got these answered. Like I said, the questions are in my description. If you want to take this on and answer these questions, please do. I would be curious to see your responses. I'm gonna finish him up real quick because we're really not that far off, and then I'll show you the finished picture, and then we'll move to the planners. Alright, figured I'd show you guys the finished picture. I took a few minutes and went back over with the same color marker on kind of creating an outline around the edges. I really like this effect that it gives. Sometimes I'll use a slightly darker marker, but in this case, since the colors are so close together, I figured I'd just use the same one. But it just creates a really cool effect. So I'm very happy. I did do a fox, at least one fox this month. So let's move over to the planner side. Alrighty, so here are my planners for this year. So a couple things I did was last year I ended up purchasing this planner. This is my main go-to planner, and I looked at all the stickers. So I use pretty much exclusively stickers and different products from a site called Hubman and Chubgirl, and I'll put a link to them in the description. And I love their planners. I love their pins, their art, their stickers. They are pricey, but I love their packs of stickers because I feel like they give me everything I need, and they're just really cute and addicting, and I bought a bunch last year. I used them for part of the year, as you know, and then part of it I ended up not using them. So I looked at all I had for the year, what months I had. So you can get some of their sticker packs, you can specify which month you want that sticker theme to be. And so I looked at the months I had and the ones I was missing. I went ahead and filled in the gaps for the year. I figured they had a really good sale around Black Friday. I was like, let me go ahead and get the stickers that I want for the year and the washi tape and everything. And then I focus on my year on using up as much of that as I can. And that way I'm not being drawn into buying new stuff, because again, this is a low buy kind of year. So I'm going to show you the coloring planner first. This one's the shorter one anyway. The color planner is actually the same planner I used last year, but again, in the spirit of reusing or using up what I have, I only filled out about half of this. And so what I did was I started a new year in it. I just clipped together what I had from 2023. I counted how many pages I had left. I could use roughly 3 or 4 pages a month and be able to get the full year in here. So I came up with an overall plan of how I'm going to do this. I just did this little cover here. I did use a sticker. Tammy sent me a bunch of cat stickers that I really need to figure out how to incorporate into my planners. Because the other planners, like my big everything kind of planner other than hobbies, I wanted to make this one small and doable. So I only have so much time to lend to using my planners each week. I'm not very good at using them consistently, so I don't want to end up. I had a lot of spreads last year that would have 4, 5, 6 pages, and I just don't think I can handle that, so we're trying to move that down this year, as you can see here with January. I do have a legend up here. I'm trying to keep up track and see. I want to use more of the stuff I have, my hobbies, and use a variety of things, like do my crochet, do reading. Reading's going to be the thing you see on here more than anything. But like gaming, coloring, videos, my husband and I do puzzles sometimes. So I want to kind of keep track of what I'm doing and try to get more of a variety of items. So this is a basic layout. This was January. I didn't do a great job with January. I only got part of this list done. I just didn't bother filling in the rest. You saw the new books anyway during the video Sunday, so you're good there. I didn't do any hashtags or buddy colors in January. As you guys know, January was pretty awful month for me. I was tracking really well and then again stopped being consistent. I was able to backfill some of it in for the month based on obviously what dates my videos posted and stuff like that, but for the most part I didn't utilize this very much, and I want to do better about that this month. I do have a set page for completed pages or projects, and then like a month stats. Obviously, I only did one page in January, which is why you're not getting a completed pages this month. So I put that here. I put what page it was and what mediums I used. Obviously, this will be more filled out, hopefully, in the other months to come. So I realized I hadn't done a 2024 goals page, so I went ahead and did it like after January. So that's why you're seeing it here. Try not to stress about not being organized enough, just putting it where I can. It's here, and that's what's important. We're well into 2024, but it's never a wrong time to set this up. Just, set this stuff up when you're ready. There is a really cool video that Cindy does, and I'm going to link it down here. She's a big planner here on YouTube. I do not know how to pronounce her last name, and I'm going to mess it up. But I'm going to link to, she has a video on trying to plan with chronic illness, and it is a fantastic video. She has what's it called? It's kidney disease, but I can't think of the name of it. There's an acronym for it. I am not doing well thinking today, but anyway, it's a great video talking about like planning with having chronic illness and only having enough energy to do certain things can make planning kind of a challenge, and I think she does a really good job of talking about that and just kind of if planning's working for you and it's helpful, utilizing it, but utilizing it in the terms of where you are at instead of trying to overdo it if you just can't keep up with it and it just brings you down every time and stuff like that. So it's kind of like utilizing planning, but utilizing planning as to where you are in life and how it will be helpful to you if you're dealing with chronic illness and you may not always week to week have the same levels of energy and things like that. Anyway, it's a really cool video. I'll link it. Talked about these in the video a little bit. I kept these really simple. 24 non-colored books, and I actually already have some to put here. Oops. My manager sent me these cute little pens that have little cattails on them, which is cats and coffee, animals, color by number, Jade Summer, See, I already have 2 on that list. Look at me. And then 24 artists. So Deborah Muller, or publishers, I guess. And then Jade Summer. I feel like these are going to be reasonable for me to hit. I obviously need to be doing more month to month than 1 page a month, but I feel like these are easily doable. 5 finished books. I had 4 I showed you that I think will be on this list, but of course I made room for more. Dates for live streams. I would like to have one this month, and then we'll, should have one a month, and then give myself time to skip a month if I need to. And then completed pages, I'm just going to keep a running total here. Last year was 224. So, all right. February, this is my spread. It's funny because I didn't plan this, so the foxes in the, oh, that's my other planner. Little foxes in the paper airplane theme. I didn't realize when I made those stickers my February theme that would match up with Foxy February, so I thought that was pretty cute. Very clever of my subconscious, hopefully, doing that. So basically, I've just got the month listed here, and then again, I'm going to try to keep up with my legend here. I did color today, so we're going to mark that in there. Look at that. Look at that. New books and supplies. I think Go Slow a Snail should be here. My handwriting is also atrocious. Jen Racing. Buddy Colors, I am planning to finish the Baby Dragons one this month. However, I am not going to put it here until I'm done because I'm trying not to put too much pressure on myself. And then, of course, we have our hashtag this month, Foxy February, but I would also like to do some others. So, and then, of course, this is my month here that I can reference, like which days or what. Then I'll have my completed pages or projects and my monthly stats. And that's kind of how my months are going to go. They're very straightforward. Like I said, I only want to use like 2 or 3 pages a month. I don't anticipate I will be getting into this one as often during the week. So I want to make this usable for me. And I like the fact that I'm using up a book I already have instead of, you're always tempted to start fresh in a book. And the fact that I still had half of this one, I want to make sure I use it, and use it thoroughly. So there's coloring. Now, if you will look at overall planning, my themes in the coloring planner do match the themes that I do in this one as well. So this is an A5 planner that I ended up getting. It is a weekly planner from, again, Hubman and Chub Girl. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if you like to use a lot of stickers, this is going to get very thick and unwieldy very quickly. That's what she said. And sorry, I can't resist. Anyway, I've only been putting in stickers through like April, like my monthly stickers, and it's already looking pretty unwieldy, like I'm going to have to use the strap quite a bit, and it's just going to get worse as the year goes on. So keep that in mind. This probably would have worked better as a quarterly planner, just given the amount of stickers I like to use. So this is actually set up as a planner instead. The other one was a bullet journal. Oh no, I don't need to do that. What am I doing? The other one is a straight bullet journal, by the way. So if you're looking on their site for something similar, this is the Cozy Cat bullet journal. So it's just the dots, the dot planner. This one is an actual undated yearly planner, the vertical weeks layout. And one thing I did last year I really liked was this pixel tracking. And so I decided to create it for the year here. I have, ranking my day, my mood, what I've been doing, how I'm feeling, my pain levels, and temperature. Because a lot of times temperature and pressure kind of line up with my pain. Not all the time, but sometimes. So I I don't do a good job updating this daily. I usually go in and backfill it by a couple days. But like I said, I find it really useful, and I'm also putting little acronyms and quotes, not quotes, but acronyms and letters in here. Like this week, I was really sick with a sinus infection. This week was the whole week I was traveling to Seattle. I am still dealing with plantar fasciitis in my foot, and so I'm marking the days where that's really flaring up and causing me issues. So I think this will work really well. I have 2024 goals. Trying to get off some medication, developing a body care routine, weight goals, date nights, visiting my parents, and doing like game nights with my brother. So we'll see how this goes. These were very high level. These were, do I think I'm going to meet these? Probably not, considering how my years go, but it's nice. It's nice to set some big goals, right? Books list, I actually need to add Wanderers to this. I can update it while we're sitting here talking. Wanderers, Chuck, is it NDIG or just DIG? I don't know. I'll look. But that was, it was this month, and I just started the next one on that one. Movies, we watched Mean Girls again last week, which was a lot of fun. I love that movie. TV, we are doing Rick and Morty. We did season 6, and then we're going to do season 7 as well. So, and then this is just if I need it for the year. But at the start of the planner, you have the months. So this is January. I need to put February's tab in there. But each month has this theme. As you can see, January was like this Magic Castles. February is, of course, the foxes. March is these little bumblebees. I've got it filled through April, I think. I was going to try to fill it up for the year, and then I backed off and said, let's do a quarter at a time, maybe, and see how that goes. So there's all the months, and this is what an undated version, untouched version looks like. Then you get your weeks. So the first month I did, I had to go back and backfill a little bit, but overall I did pretty good with this. So I write a lot more than I use stickers and things like that. So I did try to incorporate more stickers. I'm trying to incorporate more pictures, because I do want this to be kind of memory keeping a little bit too, so I can kind of look back at the year and see different things. Like the Cat Williams interview happened this week. Like that first week of January was wild, and so I actually took a screenshot of that because I just thought that would be funny to remember. That's a great interview, by the way. I recommend anybody go watch that. But yeah, did really good on this first week. As you can see, I was keeping a skincare routine. And then the second week, hung in there most of the week. Then the weekend got a little, this was right before I left for my trips. So as I got busy, as I was working on the retrospective for work, as things were getting stressful, it was harder to keep up in here, but I made an attempt. Then this was the week, hell week 1, as I put it, and that was when I was trying to do that work trip. And I went back and filled a lot of this in. It just, they're not going to be consistent. There's going to be some weeks where I want to keep this stuff here, like it's kind of journal writing, kind of note taking, memory keeping, just so I have it if I need to know these things in the future. And I used it. I didn't use it that week, but I'm going to use it as a memory keeping piece. So, I filled it in as what I needed for that week. Came back for the second hell week 2. where I was sick most of the week and filled this in a little bit more. The goal is to try to use up what I have and use my stickers and my washi tape and stuff like that. So I did better that week. I love the pictures, I really do. I'm using a little sprocket printer. It's called the HP Sprocket, if y'all were wondering. And it's not great quality, but it's pretty good. Like, that poor turkey looks terrible in that picture. But, like, this was this past week, and very busy work week, so it was definitely filled out well. Um, and I actually need to finish it up for the weekend, probably when I get off here. But we cooked a turkey, and it was like a really big deal because we've never cooked a whole turkey like that before. And like I said, that makes it look a little bit washed out, but I promise you it looked really good. And so, like, here is February starting next week. Of course, I go in and add the pictures afterwards. But I'm trying. I was real proud of myself actually keeping up with this in January. I feel like this mix of using the stickers and writing in pictures, it works really well for me as long as I use it like I should. And I try to go ahead and fill it in ahead of time too, because that saves me a lot of time when, like, next week I need to plan out for this week. It saves me a lot of time not having to do all this, so it's more likely I'm going to do it if I do it ahead of time. So I keep up with most of my stuff here, and then of course I move this stuff to here. And so yeah, not really much else to show other than that. The Magic Castles, I'm missing part of my stickers, so I typically get these planner kits, and then I get the pages, like these little bitty sticker pages that look like this. And I don't know where all those went. I don't think I used as many of those as I needed to. But I used quite a few of these. I don't have a lot of these left. I don't know what to do with this big sticker, but I'm going to find a use for it. I like showing the empties though. I didn't use these tabs that much. They do mix these up month to month. They don't look exactly the same. Like, here are the ones for the Shiba. He's not a fox, he's a Shiba, but I think he looks like a fox too. So, like, and then here's the overall months that I had, but they all look a little different, so they're not all exactly the same. But I found I didn't use these very much because my husband does, honestly, a lot of the chore work right now. So I used most of these. I think I'll save that big sticker. I also have a lot of washi tape left over. So these come with really nice washi tape. If you get them in the sets, they're like this really nice heavy duty sparkly washi tape, and I love it. And even though I'm using it as much as I can, I'm not using all of it, so I will have some of that left that I may reuse next year. As long as they still have these types of kits available and they haven't discontinued them, then obviously I can use these next year too. So that's kind of cool to have some leftovers, but I want to go into this with the expectation that I'm going to use up as much as I have. If I have some left next year, great, but I don't want to squirrel away a bunch of stuff because, again, this year is about using what I have. So that is my planner setup and kind of talking. So that's my coloring plans and then my planner setups. And I don't know if I'll do it every month. We'll see. But at some point, maybe at the end, if I do a completed pages video, maybe at the end of the completed pages video, I will show you guys quickly how the month turned out, kind of like I did here with January, in terms of the images and stuff. If you guys would like to see me actively plan out weeks, let me know. I have no plans to do that right now, but if there's interest in seeing me set one of these up, I can certainly do that. Highly recommend their planner stuff. It is I would say I thought I would use these little stickers more, but I find as I'm getting into actually playing, so you can get like, they're again all different sets. You can buy individual sticker sheets. There's a lot of different ways you can buy these, but like these had the months here, if you're wondering where those came from. I thought I would use these more, the actual sticker sheets, but I find that I'm actually using this planner kit more when I'm using the weekly layout. So like if I had to pick one, I would go with just the planner kits, and then go on there and buy, maybe if you want the individual sticker sheet of these little Shebas and their planes. I thought they were foxes. That's funny. And it says right there, Sheba. Then you can buy those as well. But like if you're looking at, from a cost perspective, I would say if you're using a weekly planner, these little planner kits that come in the long pages are more useful to me than the smaller sticker sheets are right now. So just saying, I will probably in the future, instead of buying both sets, buying the planner kit if it's available, and then just buying a couple of different sticker sheets, like the month one and a couple of the different ones, just to save a little bit. So there you go. Pretty packed there, but that is my plans. You got to see me do a Foxy February picture, and then these are the planners I'm keeping up with. I am really, like I said, taking a page from, really listen to that video that Cindy had and really thinking about it, in that I just don't have the energy. I'm proud of myself for these weeks that are really fleshed out like this and are nice and filled up, but there are just going to be some weeks where I have to go back and backfill, or I just don't, I have to go in and make a couple notes, but like I didn't use it that week for some reason. I was sick, if there was a lot going on. A lot of my to-do list, one of the things she recommends is prioritizing a to-do list and keeping it over like here, and then as you fill up to it during the week, move over the things that you were able to accomplish that day. And then, obviously try to knock out your high priority items, but then some of the others may just go to the next week. Like your list is not going to be complete each week. Like this week, I was able to do my expense my work trip, set up Winry's wellness appointment. The vlog for my trip will be next week. Phone number switch I've got to do, just didn't get to it this week. And then these 3 items, they're just going to get pushed. And a lot of these items are getting pushed multiple weeks. I only have so much energy. So I think that's a really good takeaway that I've been utilizing. And, like there's work stuff I can't quite push like that. So I try to just work in other things that I have to do during the week. Like I moved all those items to here. None of them are over here yet, except for the ones that are specific to the day. Like Bagheera and Reap Cheap get their Silencia tomorrow. Though, if I need more needles from the vet's office, I may have to wait till Tuesday. But like Leroy and Bagheera have a vet visit Tuesday for some checkups. So there are some things that absolutely have to sit on those days. But like this stuff, I can do any day, just as I have the energy. And that's, I feel like, the biggest way that I'm able to utilize this type of planning, is doing that. And like I said, when I'm feeling down and like I'm not accomplishing much because I'm so tired all the time, it really helps to have this note taking and have this information down so I can go back and look. And just seeing this visual of all this filled out really shows me I'm doing a lot more than I think I am. So anyway, my thoughts on that. I'm going to try, speaking of the vlog, I'm doing this on Tuesday because I want to try to put that on Thursday. Next weekend, I'm hoping to do the Amazon Basics review. And don't know what I'm doing past that point yet, but that's what we got for this week. So thanks guys for watching. If you have any questions about the planners, like I said, if you want to see me do anything with these or talk about anything more, let me know. I'll touch base with you guys probably monthly on these at the end of my completed pages videos if I do those. And yeah, so I'm proud of myself. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm definitely I haven't given up on it entirely yet, and we're doing a nice refresh for February, so I'm feeling pretty good about this right now, more so than I did a month or two ago. So that's why I was saying sometimes you just gotta wait till you're ready to take on stuff instead of trying to force it. So thanks guys, and bye for now.